Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thanks for watching today. I wanted to do a full face of Colourpop because I got some new stuff from Colourpop yesterday. I'll be honest, I recorded this video yesterday, but due to the fact that my 8-year-old had woken up with a stomach bug at 2 in the morning and kept me up until the day started, it was long and rambly, and I thought maybe, let's go again. So before I get started and show you kind of what I picked up, I also wanted to say thank you for watching and for being subscribed. And if you are not subscribed, would you please subscribe and maybe share this video with a friend? Alright, so one of the reasons that I really wanted to place an order, and I know you're going, wait, you just put up a no-buy video. Yes, I did. I'm officially on a no-buy. I purchased everything that you're going to see here on the 31st of January. My no-buy started February 1. And I think that was like my last ditch effort to be like, new things. So I did place an order, but it didn't arrive until the 20th. I know, my goodness. So I thought that maybe what I would do today is reshoot this video because it looked like yesterday, rambly, plus I played with every color in the crayon box and I looked like a 3-year-old putting on makeup. I thought we'd try again. All right, so the first thing that really I've been wanting to try this and it's been out for a while and I just never pulled the trigger, was the Colourpop No Filter Foundation. You know what I just noticed? Look at that. It broke. I used it once yesterday. Oh my goodness, it broke all the way off at the bottom. Colourpop. All right, I'm going to shove it back in there and we're going to use it today, and then I just know that I probably shouldn't be traveling with this. And that once we get to the bottom, it'll be more difficult. So back in you go. That does not make me happy. All right, so we're going to just swipe this on. Here's what I'll tell you. I tried this yesterday and I noticed a couple of things. First of all, I'm 44, so I have lines, I have crinkles. It's not like utter perfection. My face definitely shows when things settle in. And I really don't need this much, but it's kind of fun to draw it on. I tried it yesterday just with the foundation brush, and so I'm going to just use this today. And I really liked the way this looked right after application. And it blended in like super easy. It was just like, how did that happen? Wow. I mean, because like, do you already see this? It blends very, very easily. After wearing it all day yesterday and then putting it on again today, I don't really feel like I'm wearing foundation. There are some foundations that are heavy enough that when you put them on, you're like, I can feel this. Don't smile too hard lest it crease and crack and fall off. But I feel like this is like what I want my skin to look like on the everyday. All right, I'm going to throw on some Colourpop concealer. I'm going to use the No Filter concealer. I'm going to throw on their No Filter press setting powder and maybe put my brows on with this, and we'll be back. So I have concealer, powder, and brows on, and you know what happened while I was putting on the powder? I didn't know how close I was. I hit pan. That's like a big deal for me because I never finish stuff. So I've got a panning project. I'll link the video down below, but I was like, really? All right, I do really like this powder. I did find that it's very loosely pressed. Some people have complained that it's so firmly pressed that their brush doesn't pick up anything, and I find like, you know, a small tap, and I'm just using a natural haired brush like this. This is from Wayne Goss, and I find that when I just tap into here like this, I don't know if you saw that, look how much gets picked up, like a lot. So waste not, want not, but yeah, and I use this under the eyes and everywhere, so I was very pleasantly surprised. All right, so the next thing I wanted to do is I love having these Colourpop magnetic palettes. I've had quite a few of these. I've got 2 blushes, a bronzer, and a highlight, and then 4 shadows across the bottom. So I think I'm going to use this more pinky tone blush here. This one's called Why Hello. And then I have here Kitty Kitty and Private Party, and that's the blush, highlighter, and bronzer I'm going to put on today. So what really led me to make this last ditch purchase before my no buy started was this right here. And this palette has been so well received and so well reviewed that I really wanted to try it. My goal has been to do more colorful looks as well as more cool toned looks, and this really fit the bill. This is the It's My Pleasure from Colourpop. It has 9 pans. This is only $12. And I was like, how can you put out something like this that's only $12? It's really beautiful. I love the fact that you have so many very reflective, very shiny shades in here. I thought that maybe the best thing to do, because what I did yesterday went a little too far, just gonna be honest. I thought I might use some neutral shades from this palette that I showed you earlier. I'm gonna use, I have a very mid-tone brown called Made to Last. It's this one right here. And I think I'm gonna throw that in my crease because I found that yesterday when I used just that palette, the It's My Pleasure, since color is not something I'm really strong at yet, it looked like a 3-year-old playing in her mother's makeup, or the kid who was going to use every single crayon in the box. So maybe we'll tone it down just a little bit today. So I wanted to show you what shades I'm planning on using from this palette. I really wanted to use this darkest one here. This one is called Sleeper. I wanted to use Sleeper and Mr. Sandman, these two right here. And then I was debating between pulling in one of these 3 here in the middle. Towards the end, I'll let you know what we decided on, but these colors, I mean, I was swatching these colors last night, and I was like, these are unreal, unreal. Look at these. Look at that. Look how metallic they are, how they shimmer and shine. There's also one of the shimmers here. This one is called Do or Dough, as in like pizza dough. I love how cleverly they spell things, but they're just magical. I love the way these look. So we're gonna throw some of these on. I'll let you know what I put on and where when we get a finished look. One of the other things that I picked up when I placed this order was this. This is one of the loose pigments from the Kathleen Lights collab. This one's called the Maiden. I mixed it with a little bit of Fix Plus, and this is what it looks like right here. Isn't it just stunning? The other thing that I like is that even while it's still wet, if you were to go and just blend it out a little bit, look at how it looks more like, instead of just a stripe, it almost looks like a glossy sheen on the skin. I really, really like this. I tried to use it dry. I think some of the other pigments you can use dry, but this one is one that I feel works best. And I got this one because I wanted to use it in the summertime and, you know, dampen it and just wear it like this on my eyelid. And just that, so I have a slightly glossy eye for something easy but still sparkly and pretty in the summertime. So I have a little bit of this on the end of a brush here, and I'm just going to pat this in my inner corner. Can you see the light that it brings right here compared to this eye? Oh, it's so gorgeous. I don't know that this is something that I would use every single day, but if I really wanted something a little bit special, I could definitely see myself reaching for this. This was the other reason that I really wanted to place this before my no buy started, was the BFF Volumizing Mascara. Now this mascara, the wand is very reminiscent of the Too Faced Better Than Sex wand. You know what? I have one. Let's grab it and take a look. So this came in my recent BoxyCharm. All right, so this right here is the Colourpop wand. This right here is the Better Than Sex. I feel like maybe, even though they both have a slight hourglass shape to them, I feel like these are more uniform in the way that the bristles are placed on the brush itself, where these are more scattered and you might get more volume with this. I went away for the President's Day weekend, and the only mascara I took was the Better Than Sex mascara because it had just come in my BoxyCharm and I hadn't used it in a couple of years, and I wanted to see whether I would really, really reconnect with it. I blinked. And I have it all down here. Of course I do. Of course I do. And there's a little piece of cat hair, I think, on my nose. Where are you? Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. We'll clean it up. But let me keep telling you, I think that it's a beautiful mascara as long as you don't intend to wear it all day long. And I don't know whether it's because I have very emollient eye creams, but I found a lot of that Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced had transferred down to here. The one thing I will say is I have smaller eyes. My lashes are slightly downward pointing. I do curl them. I do put mascara on them to keep them up. But if they touch this lower area down here, I need something that's not going to transfer, even if it hits something slightly emollient. I've run into 2 mascaras that kind of get me through the day perfectly without problems that are high end, and there is one that I really, really like at the drugstore. I need to do a little bit more drugstore research, but not right now. I'm on my no-buy. But I'll be interested to see what my thoughts are on this. But look at this. Just building it up, it creates such a difference. So let's throw some mascara on the other upper and lower, clean up this little down here where I poked myself in the eyeball with the wand. And then I got transfer. But let's talk about it in a minute. I mentioned earlier that I had got some transfer of mascara right down here. If that ever happens to you, if you ever get it like above your lashes, just take a cotton swab and just wait till the mascara dries. I should say that first. Wait till it dries. Gives it a good, I would say give it a good 10 minutes. And sometimes I keep this in the car or in my handbag because if I am running out the door and I don't have time to wait and do it at home, I'll let it dry, and then before I get out of the car, I'll go and like clean up any mascara that I have. But if you just do that, you just lightly run it where you think you have, oh look, I have some up here. It just picks it up and you don't disturb the rest of your makeup. Yep. I don't know why it is that I've been wearing mascara for 30 years and I haven't figured out how not to get it on my eyelids. Help me out if you know. And I have used lash cards, I have used plastic spoons, I've used a lot of stuff. The truth is, I usually don't have the patience for that. So I just rely on this technique, and you do get a little bit of, you know, eyeshadow on there, but it's never really enough to disturb my look. It bothers me enough. So here's what I like about this BFF mascara. I feel like for an $8 mascara, this is less expensive than some mascaras you'll find at the drugstore. Some of the L'Oreal mascaras are more in the, what, $10, $12 range. And I know you can get coupons and stuff, but for $8, this is really beautiful. I feel like it really does give some length and some lift to my lashes. I do like the way that it looks, and if I'm looking at it myself, I feel like it adds length and it adds volume without being too much. I do feel like if somebody had really amazing lashes, this might do more for them than it does for me, but this is definitely something, as long as I don't get fallout or transfer, that I will wear again. And that's what was so disappointing about getting another full-size tube of this. I like the way that it looks on my lashes, but I cannot abide the black smudge that you get below your, you know, right down there on that lower area beneath your eye. I can't have that. I don't want to look like a raccoon or a panda. I want to look like a person with great lashes. And this at $24 is something I will never purchase again. But if this performs well, I feel like I'm getting a very similar look while it being $8, and we'll have to get back on whether it smudges or not. But I have high hopes because everything else Colourpop does, I feel like they do really, really well. So the lipstick that I decided to throw on is one of the Designer Disney collaborations. This one is in the shade Belle. It's really beautiful. It's one of their cream lipsticks, their Luxe Cream formula, which I think out of all of their Luxe lipsticks is my favorite. Oh, I got a few other things. I already put it in my palette. I had given away to my mom when she was visiting. This shade right here, this is Cloud 9, so I picked up another one of those. Another thing that I picked up and I haven't gotten into yet is a Lippie pencil in the shade Lumier. That's one that I use quite regularly. And the last product, and this is not one that I purchased, this is one that they threw in. So I mentioned how I purchased this on the 31st of January and it didn't arrive until yesterday, the 20th of February. And I was like, Colourpop, where are you at? You've never been this late. Did you forget me? And the truth was, I think with the Kathleen lights, pigments that launched on the 31st and their BFF, I think also the fact that in the first week or week and a half of February, they also launched their BFF liquid liners, which I would love to try, but I'm on a no buy, so that's not happening right now. I think they had so many things that were launching that they just couldn't keep up. And so they included a little card that says, sorry, we're late, XOXO Colourpop. And then in there, they put this. And this is an ultra matte liquid lip. I don't really prefer this formula, so I'm not going to open it. This one right here, this one is called Extra Toppings. It looks really pretty. So I'm going to give this to a friend because it's definitely not a formula that I like, and I feel like it's too dry on my lips, although I love the shade range that they have, so that's being put aside. But that's what I got. This eyeshadow palette, oh my goodness. So today, here's what I did. I started out with a mid-toned brown, kind of like right in the crease. And then I added a little bit of Pretty Cruel, kind of like right over it and on the lower lash line. I used some of this darkest shade here, Sleeper, kind of like in the outer corner and on the lower lash line. And then over the top of that, I put Mr. Sandman. And that's kind of like this sparkle that you see right across through here. And then I have the Kathleen Lights, the Maiden pigment, just on the inner corner. And I'm sure if you need more of an inner corner eye brightener, you could really, you know, layer that up. But I wanted to go for something that was slightly more subdued because yesterday I went a little nuts. Earlier I showed you what the shimmers or the foiled pigments in here look like. And I wanted to show you what the mattes look like. So if you'll notice the shade on my pinky finger right here, this one's called Pretty Cruel. It's not completely matte. It does have a little bit of sparkle to it, but these blend out so nicely. The one thing that I did notice with this shade here, Pretty Cruel, even though it does have some of that sparkle on it, the more and more and more you buff, if you put it in your crease and you buff, 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 you can basically buff out all those little teeny tiny gold sparkles. And the reason I know that is because I have a shadow single of this and I do that all the time. I find it really, really nice. So if you look at it, this center portion here is Sleeper, the center portion is Chicklet. These are the two darkest shades, one more plummy, one more purple. And then on the top here, I have Earth Shine kind of patted over here and here, and on the bottom, Mr. Sandman. And you see how it transforms the shade from looking like this to looking like this? This takes on a little bit more of a, I don't know, a gray undertone, and it looks more blue over when you put Chicklet over things. So I think that some of these shades can really transform a look in a completely different way. You can get multiple looks out of this eyeshadow palette. And for $12, oh my goodness. And I've been trying to make sure that I'm not telling you you need something because you don't need it. But if you love purples, and you've been seeing a lot of other purple eyeshadow palettes. There's the Norvina, there's the Amethyst one from Huda Beauty. There's a lot of other ones that are really very purple leaning. This is $12 and excellent quality, and you will get a huge variety of looks if you're willing to play with a little bit more color and you don't need something that's so neutral. If you're willing to pull a few neutrals in, I pulled in a neutral brown today for the look that I have on, and I feel like it went really, really, really well. So this is definitely, out of playing with it twice, like, I love this. I love what it's capable of doing. I think the mascara also is one of those products that if it lasts well, I had it on yesterday, it didn't go anywhere, it didn't do anything. The other thing I forgot to mention, it is a slightly drier formula. And I don't feel like some mascaras, when you open them, they're really wet. And then either you really like them when they're really wet or you wait for them to dry a little bit before you get to that perfect consistency. I like things on the slightly drier side. This is already perfect for what I like. I wonder if it might dry too much and then be one of those that doesn't last as long, like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise doesn't last as long as some other mascaras out there, although it's a really great mascara. Thank you so much for watching today. Let me know what your favorite Colourpop product is. Is it one of their foundation products? Is it a Super Shock product? Do you have thoughts already on some of these newer items that I'm trying, like the foundation stick, that eyeshadow palette and the BFF foundation, or one of the pigments from Kathleen Lights? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching today. If you are not subscribed, would you please? And I'll see you again soon. Bye.